Hello and welcome back to Finline video tutorial. Using Finline, you can create perfect and awesome project report easily. In this tutorial, we introduce you on how to fill the financial information through Finline. In the previous videos, we have already seen the company information and business information. Now it's a crucial and important portion of the project report. It's the financials. With the financial information, the bank or the assessing agency will value and find out whether your report is viable or not. So we have seen this fixed capital, a lot of headings were there, land and building, machinery, office equipment, etc., will be there. So we are explaining you on what all these things are and how we can fill up these things. Okay. So first of all, it's a fixed capital. We can say it's a fixed asset. This is a permanent asset of the company. That is, they are the tangible asset like infrastructure, machinery or the equipments, office equipments, or the potential expenses which help the company in producing a product or service. So that is all about fixed asset, and we are just seeing how the total cost of the project, the major total cost of the project will comes under fixed asset, and a small portion will comes to the working capital. So we can say majority cost will become sometimes comes under working capital fixed cost. So first of the things will be under working capital. So we can see how the project cost will be allocated and how that can be funded, from where the source of funding can be happen, etc., will be explained here. So first let's see how we can enter an expense category and an expense figure into these categories. So we know that if you need to add an expense category like this, you just insert the expense category name into the text field. We can say purchase of a land as the next category and just add button. It will be the next expense category, and if you have to figure out the total amount of this purchase. So we have given it as 1,50,000, and now there's a next button which is actually helping you to delete the entry, just like this. Okay, now it's the machinery and equipments. So we can see add particulars here. You just need to click the add particular and you will get the text fields for filling up all these things. The first one will be the machinery name, then the supplier or the manufacturer name, then the rate per quantity and the number of quantity. Okay, so automatically the total will be listed here. So we can say that the sample will be grinder and the supplier will be the test person, and we can say 15,000 will be the rate per quantity and we need around two quantities, so that the 30,000 will be listed here as the machinery cost. So if you have multiple machinery to be added, we can list all these things over here, and if not needed you can delete it. Okay, this is all about the machinery and equipments. Now the office equipment, it is same as the land and building section, like chairs, air conditions, computers, everything comes on the office equipment. So you can add that particular category here and just click the add button, and the particular numbers will be listed, have to be entered here. Okay, this is all about that. So vehicles, electrification, everything, if you have any doubt in this particular section, you can see a green question mark here. So just mouse over this thing around that, you can see what is this expense all about and how this can be defined. And now we can see a different name like preliminary or pre-operative expenses. This is actually an expense which is going to happen before a company is starting. So we can say, for example, the cost for creating a project report, or the cost incurred to get a certification or an approval from the authority, or the cost for uh, inauguration, etc., can be considered under the preliminary and pre-operative expenses. And now it's the contingencies. This is the expense for taking the backups, that is comes under the contingencies, and all other expenses, other than these given expenses will comes under others category. So finally you can see the total fixed capital will be 65,000 rupees. This is the total cost of, this is the total sum of all the expenses created under all these heads. Okay, this is the total fixed capital, and this will be one of the major share for the total cost of project. Now we can move to the working capital. This is one of the very important topic, the working capital. So working capital in this section, we are actually calculating the day-to-day expense incurred for the company. That is, the working capital is calculated based on a working cycle. We all know that there will be a working cycle for all the product or service. The working cycle will vary from business to business as it involves procurement of stock or raw material to production to delivery and to collection of the amount. So this is the cycle which will convert from the procurement to collection. So then the cycle happens, and from the collected amount the next cycle will be transitioned. So with the collected amount we can go and purchase the procurement stock again, and then the cycle has to happen in a cyclic manner till the end of the company. Okay, this is all about working capital. So in the initial time we may not have the particular amount to operate the working cycle. So at that time we may seek some help or assistance from the bank to, in order to find out the working cycle, or in order to find out the working capital. You may seek some financial assistance from the bank, and that loan is known as working capital loan, and that will be calculated here. So here first, we can see how we can calculate this thing. So first, as I described, the first portion of the working cycle is the stock in hand or purchase of stock. We can say we are purchasing 15,000 worth of stock per day, and we need 10 days of stock initially, so it's around 1.5 lakh. And work in progress is actually same like stock, which is the stock which are actually used in the production cycle. It's known as the work in progress. We can say maybe 2,000 will be the per day working expense, and it will take 3 days for a product to finish. And the finished goods will be always listed here. The finished goods is actually dumped in our stockyard, and which is kept until the person or the company will transfer it to the customer. So till that time this will be an expense incurred to us, and that will be calculated here. So we can say the finished product cost will be 5,000 rupees, and it will be per day, it will be 5,000, it will be 5,000, and we can say 5 days it will be there in our godown, so 25,000 will be the cost. And the working expense is the expense incurred like on production, like electricity cost, wages, all other production based costs will be listed here. So we can say 1,500 will be the expense per day, and we need money for 10 days, and this is the amount that we are getting from the customer. So 5,000 will be the per product cost, per day cost, and we may get it after 10 days. So we can say this is the total working capital cost incurred for completing one cycle, 2.46 lakh. And from here we can say like we have a particular amount of cash is with us. So now we need to find out the excess amount from banks or other institutions. So that's why we are creating this project report. So in here we can say like we have around 25% of money is with us, and the 75% has to be found out from the bank. So the loan will be the 75%, that is 1.84 lakhs will be the working capital loan that we need. Okay, so we can explain how we get derived this 1.84 lakhs here as a substantial proof to prove it, and we can click the save and next button. And the second step, it's already given as means of finance. Means of finance means like we will explain you the total fund you needed, the total cost of the project, the fixed cost I explained earlier, the total amount of the fixed assets, and the total working capital is listed here, and the working capital loan is already listed here. And now we are finding out how much term loan we needed. The term loan is the loan against the for creating fixed assets, that is known as term loans. So now we can type the amount we needed, or we can type the percentage that we needed for term loan. We can say probably in most cases 75% of the loan of the total project cost will be issued by the bank for term loans as well as for working capital loans. So some cases like Mudra loan and other things, 90 to 95% were distributed by the bank. So we can say here 75% of the amount we needed. So it is 4.23 lakhs is the total amount we needed from the bank, and the rest of the amount will be listed as the own contribution. Now we can see another category named add source of fund. Here it is actually for the subsidy. For some government projects there will be subsidy amount. So we can say subsidy can be listed here, just like we can enter it's 50,000 will be the subsidy given by the government, and so this is the only amount, less than 91,000, around 91,000 rupees will be the contribution needed from the party side. So the rest of the amount will be given as subsidy, and 75% will be given as the total project cost. Okay, so now I'm deleting the subsidy because it's just to give you an impression that this subsidy can be added in this project. So now we can explain the details of the contribution, how you are finding out the contribution, from what's the source of the contribution, everything I've listed here. And the projection year, normally we can say 5 years will be the projection, and we can click the save button. And the third step will be the sales and revenue portion. Here we are explaining how we can, the source of revenue for our product can be explained here. So click the new button. We can see the name of the product or service, the rate, the quantity numbers, and the unit price will be given here, and what is the measurement of the unity will be given. So you can say, like, for example, okay, so I am giving it as sales. So roughly I am giving it as sales, and I'm saying I'm selling around 15,000 units per year. It's an annual, this is calculated annually, so we can say 15,000 units per year, and per unit I'm spending around, I'm getting 50 to 75 rupees will be the per unit amount that I'm getting, and I can say it is as liters or pieces. Yeah, pieces will be here. So this is the income that I'm getting. If you have multiple source of income, you can click another next new button, and same thing will be repeated here. If you don't want to use that, you can click the X button, and you can also give the detailed explanation on how you derived into these 15,000 numbers and the 75 pieces.